Hey everyone, how's it going? It's a nice chilly winter day today. I'm getting a little bit of snow starting here, but it's just been wonderful being out today. I've had quite the exciting day. I'm out here right now with a very specific species that I was looking for today, and I'll introduce him here to you in just a minute. But you know, over the last few months, I've put out a couple of videos that revolve around how I go about looking for and finding the animals that I photograph. You know, one of the very hardest parts of wildlife photography and videography is just finding animals to photograph. So in some of those previous videos, I've covered, you know, very specific habitats, how I look for wildlife in certain habitats. I've covered different species. And today I wanted to do something similar. I've got a very, like I say, very specific species that I was looking for out here today. It's a fairly common species, but it's very rarely seen by people. And that's kind of what I wanted to cover today. Again, this is how I look for wildlife personally. Just because it works for me doesn't mean it's going to work for you, but hopefully you can come away from this video with a helpful tip or, you know, just learning something, an idea of something that you may want to try. So yeah, hopefully it's helpful for you, but I think it's about time for me to introduce you to this little fella that I'm with here. So I'm out right now with a porcupine. Probably not what you guys expected. I don't know, maybe you were. But yeah, I'm out right now with a porcupine. Porcupines are animals that most people have probably never seen before, but they're fairly common within the habitat that they live in. And that's exactly what I wanted to talk about today. You know, I've made a video before that talked about how I look for wildlife by studying the certain habitats that they live in and then going and exploring those habitats. Just as importantly, or possibly even more importantly, you have to know where within that habitat to look for certain animals. Porcupines spend most of their time in trees. I'm in this stand of Russian olives right now. And, you know, I came out here looking for the porcupines, and I'm not doing that on the ground. You know, I'll check to make sure I don't step on one or whatever, but most of my time looking for them is looking in the trees for them. Porcupines use the trees as a source of food. They eat a lot of tree bark, leaves occasionally. They've been eating these little Russian olives on these trees, which is interesting. I haven't seen that before. They also rest in the trees. It's a safe place to rest from predators, just a comfy place to sleep. So porcupines spend a lot of time in trees. You know, one thing that I've done for years now that has been so helpful for me in finding more wildlife and knowing when to go out and look for those animals is keeping a wildlife journal. So one thing that I highly recommend that you do, especially with species that you're not as familiar with, is sit back and observe them. Just observe them for a while. Don't rush up and get your picture right away. Just sit back and observe them and record everything that you see them doing. So keep a wildlife journal, whether it's a notebook or a pad of paper or something in your phone, whatever it is. Record where you found that animal, the date, the time, what exactly it was doing. Got some crazy wind. Holy cow. Record what it was doing and at what times it started doing certain activities. You know, this porcupine, for instance, it's just after sunset now. He's finally starting to move around. He's starting to eat a little bit more. I'll write that down in my wildlife journal, and then I'll compare it with notes of other porcupines that I see, so I can start to learn their habits better. That way I know when to look for the animal. If I want to see specific behavior, if I want to see him up and eating, I'm going to do that around this time of day now and not mid-afternoon when he's usually sleeping. So that's one thing that you can do that can greatly improve your chances of seeing certain behavior of certain animals. And again, if you're recording where you saw that animal and at what time, it can help you find them again in the future. These are all things that I have done for years now, and it has helped so much. You know, just learn about the animal that you want to photograph, learn its habits, document its habits when you see them so that you can learn from each experience that you have. It's so helpful. You know, there's so many resources out there that can teach you about animals. There's so many books, so many resources online. So just do the research when you're looking for animals, figure out where within a habitat you can find them, and then just go out and explore. That's one of the best ways to find these guys. Guys, if you can tell, it's getting windy, it's getting dark, it's starting to snow/rain, so I'm gonna go. This was a shorter video this week. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Do you like these shorter videos of just some animal, you know, wildlife footage that I find with some tips or tricks, you know, some information? Or do you like the full-length vlog type videos, the behind-the-scenes stuff where I take you along and show you you know, the full experience that I have? Let me know down in the comments. I would love to hear them. You know, not everyone's going to be the same. I know some people like one thing more than the other, but it really does help me figure out how to structure these videos and whatnot. So let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear from you guys. I'd also love to hear what tips and tricks you guys use to find wildlife. What methods do you go about finding the animals that you photograph? What adventures have you been on recently? So just let me know. I love hearing from you guys. Thank you so much for following along. I'm gonna go though. It's getting dark quick. So I'm gonna go. Stay safe out there, you guys. Thank you so much for following along. Have a wonderful week. We'll see ya.